What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself, and today's the long-awaited return of Metaphor ReFantazio. I think I've only heard this one time when it first came out. I don't think I heard it again, but it was definitely when it first came out, so it's been a while. And the game has a bit of a cult following since then. Atlus, of course. I just finished my first Atlus game with SMT5. And from that experience, a lot of people said I would enjoy this game. Kind of a similar mechanic. Battle system. Anyways, we're listening to Traversing the Wastes, followed by Ode to Heroes. Both are from Sugarbox Song, requested by Frank, Kevin, and Mr. Insecure. Do anything about this game? Maybe don't go into too much detail because, I don't know, I'm kind of digging this whole Atlus thing. Maybe I'll, who knows? Never say never. But I do remember this having a very unique soundtrack. It reminded me a little bit of how do I explain it? It reminded me of like Surge from System of a Down. You know, very like operatic, kind of over the top, and just somewhere between classical and like really intense. Anyways, this is the return of Metaphor ReFantazio, Traversing the Wastes. I can get this to play. All right, let's go. I could be wrong, but I think this is also Shoji, the composer of other Atlus games. I think it's the first time I hear the woman vocal. It's pretty remarkable the stark differences in Atlus games soundtracks. Even though like they share a lot of the same composition too. But so far it feels like Metaphor is the most unique out of all of them. Then again, it's a brand new series, right? SMT has been established, Persona's been established. Soul Hacker's been established. Metaphor is brand new, so it feels very fresh. Ooh. Traversing the Wastes. Sounds like a battle theme. Oh. I just remember the requesters sent a note with it, so I can check in a second. I like to read those after. Dude, they got some like really good, talented vocalists for this game. It seems to be the most vocal heavy, outside of like Lynn, right? As in like Lynn is singing where Metaphor's vocal sound very much like a melodic structure part of the song. I wonder if there is any like instrumental stuff in this game. That was cool. Damn, I missed this game. I do remember when I first heard it. Has it been a year already? I remember this game was like everywhere when it first came out. Like kind of like how E33 was. It was everywhere. Like everyone talked about it. All my mutual like streamer friends were playing it. It's apparently like a really long game and blah 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 blah, but that just seems to be like an Atlus thing. And I've been told a lot about it too, because it's also like SMT, where it has like a free demo that you can, you know, go right into the full game with it, and that's how SMT got me. I was like, oh, free demo, and then save carries over, yeah. So it's like I gotta be careful because 2026 for me is like games that are really short or shorter, and mostly just trying different stuff instead of RPGs, because that's like, I don't know, people are just starting to associate me as like an RPG streamer and let's player, and I'm not. I mean, I am, but I play multiple games. I'm a huge fan of a lot of games, so I gotta stay away from Metaphor because it looks enticing, and especially the man. I mean, Atlus has just as much of a history on this channel than some other stuff like Final Fantasy and other big names like Atlus. I've been listening to Atlus. Actually, if you want to get technical, Atlus was in the first like 5 videos of the Auditorium of 13 Sentinels, and that was like one of the first songs to really capture my attention, and I was like, oh, maybe I should keep doing this. Yeah, 13 Sentinels. I remember that. So 13 Sentinels, and then Persona 5, and then 3, and then 4, and then I started to hear the older Personas, which no one really talks about, but are also still really good. Then I heard like the Digital Devil saga, got into SMT. Once SMT happened, I was like, whoa, this is crazy, and I can't wait to hear more. I still want to hear a lot from 4, because I haven't heard that much from 4. I've heard stuff from Nocturne, and then of course I played Vengeance, which was amazing. And of course, Persona music has always just completely stood out. And now with Metaphor, it seems like, I don't know if I haven't been a fan too long, so I can't tell if they're just like to reinvent the wheel each time, or if it really feels like the Atlus formula, so to say. We'll see. But I will say that the music has definitely stood out the most because when did this come out? Hold on, it's driving me nuts. Is it 2024 or 2025 when it came out? I feel like it was this year, right? This year went by so fast that it's gonna determine the next thing I say. 2024. Damn. Really? Oh, late 2024. That's why. Okay. Damn. Wow. This year went by so fast. 2025. I mean, I can't believe this game is already a year old. That's so more than a year old. Anyways, I just remember when it came out, it was just everywhere, and people were always talking about the soundtrack and how unique it is, and it's definitely one of those standout things. And now that I'm hearing this with this like new vocalist that I didn't hear the first time, it's I don't know, it's really refreshing. But yet it's intriguing to me the most because it doesn't sound like I'm a fan if I can't tell that it's like something I'm familiar with already. I'm not sure if this is Shoji Meguro. Let me see if it says here. It doesn't say. I'll look it up though. But either way, it doesn't sound like SMT, and it doesn't sound like Persona. So it's like, that's cool. That's really, really cool. It's got its own thing. After this, I'll check what the requester said as far as context. This is Ode to Heroes. Okay, a little bit of a tribute song. Let's see. I'm gonna look up the composer. It's just straight up Shoji Meguro. That's crazy. Excuse me. That's crazy. Oh, that's another thing too. What language are they speaking? Also, the name of this game is so intriguing. Like, what does that mean? Metaphor? It's like its own genre. Where else would you really hear metaphor style music, you know? That's what's really like tripping me out. The song sounds important. Story-driven song. Is that a child? It reminds me of like the Nier stuff I've heard, where it's a child singing, like Pascal or something. It sounds like a kid. Honestly, this might sound kind of weird, but I don't know what to say when it comes to Metaphor ReFantazio. And I mean this in like a really positive way. It's really, really good. Obviously, like I can hear the talent. But considering I've already experienced this exact same feeling with Atlus itself, with a song that I didn't like at all in SMT5, and then also hearing it in game, I'm like, oh yeah, I can't imagine, you know, the song not being in there. I feel like this is one of those soundtracks that, and I'm just gonna say this as like a huge compliment, by the way. This is kind of something similar to how I think of Metal Gear Solid, which one of my favorite games of all time and one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. That's a soundtrack where, as good as it is, some of it, you know, can stand alone outside of the game. But a lot of it, you know, most people will agree that in game you're just like, ooh, right? There's this just, it's for those scenes, it's for that moment. And now again, experiencing my first Atlus, I can kind of see how, well, honestly, the big thing to take away is that Atlus is like no slouch when it comes to the music department. I think it's probably a core, like, thing in their office to, same as Square Enix, like they need to have good music in their games. I feel like that's a requirement. Not only as being very impressive, but just moving the plot forward, or, you know, really enhancing that moment. Atlus is really good at that. Just to give an idea, right? I would consider, I've heard a lot of games on this channel, I've heard a lot of stuff, but nothing has like really migrated to like my personal like top soundtracks. There's been a lot of amazing stuff, but you know, as a collective, not a lot of things haven't really like pushed into my own personal stuff. SMT5 was one of those. I can only say that about one game, and that's SMT5. You know, like I had my own kind of, I'll talk about this more in my 100K video that I have coming up. I'm talking about like my favorite soundtracks of all time that were like mostly before the auditorium, but since then, of course, there's been some, maybe there's 2 games, but SMT5 is one of them. Atlus is a big deal, so that opened the door for a lot of stuff. And as weird as a game as SMT was, it made total sense in the game, and I'm pretty sure that Metaphor, I feel like this is just super enhanced in game because it doesn't sound like anything else. I'm not really sure if I would listen to it the same way as other Atlus games, like out of the game, which is not really good nor bad. It's just how I feel about music sometimes. But I feel like in game, it just super hits because it's unique. It's weird. I like weird. You know, it's like this classical thing. It's operatic. It's I don't know how to describe it. I have no idea how to describe Metaphor ReFantazio's music. I will say though, for someone who has almost 2,000 videos, who knows how many thousands of songs I've heard, I can't really think of anything that sounds like Metaphor ReFantazio. That's huge, you know, and that to me is the stuff that gets the most attention because it doesn't sound like anything. I don't know. Let me take a quick cut so I can see what the requester said about both these songs. 1 second. All right, we're back. So the song we just heard, Ode to Heroes, is a theme of academia. Cool name. I'm guessing that is a place. You know, as soon as I read that, it made me think of like, it sounds like this place right here that we're looking at. Because this looks like a library of some sort where he's holding a book. This looks like a place full of academics. So let me know if that's actually like this exact area right here. And then the other one was the first overworld theme. That took me by surprise. But now the title makes sense, Traversing the Waste. If I had to guess, the waste are maybe a... When I hear waste, I think of two things. I think of like a desert or a just like desolate trash area. Or both combined, you know? So that's a really interesting song choice for an overworld theme, you know? I'm trying to imagine how that would be. Huh. Cool. So what did I think? I thought the first song was a boss theme, so I was way off. And then this one... What did I say? Oh yeah, I said this one was like... Oh, I was completely off then. First one I thought was a battle theme, and the second one I thought was like a story-driven, like, pivotal point. Like, it sounds kind of like dialogue or something, but it's just a theme of a place, I guess. Whatever academia is. Anyways, it's still early on. I need to hear more. You know, I've heard so little Metaphor, but I'll just say this: I'm intrigued, but in like a odd way. It just feels like a somewhere between once in a lifetime and just kind of very, very unique sort of IP. You know, it makes me wonder if there's going to be more, because Atlus seems to, from what I've noticed, they don't really do these kind of one-off games. Maybe they do, I don't know. Really interested. Thank you to the requesters. Thanks to everyone you see on screen. Couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse. Have a good one.